This ominous looking hole was discovered recently in a blanket that I use as a cozy throw and hang on the back of a chair. My immediate thoughts were, oh no, a moth hole. But on further examination, it actually appears that it's one strand of yarn that's cut. So this could be an accidental snag. And although it's run down as far as here, there really is only one hole in the yarn. So this is not going to be a difficult fix. The hardest part is I don't immediately have any of this colour of yarn to hand. So I'm going to substitute with a temporary colour that will hold the hole and fix things for now until I come across some more of this yarn in my stash. So here is my first stitch. And this one has simply dropped down, so this is the yarn that belongs to that stitch. So now I have the broken yarn tail and the stitch it comes out of. Here's the stitch I just replaced, and I'm going to put that onto my small holding needle with normal orientation. And there's that one. So really all I need to do now is to graft 3 green stitches connecting to that yellow row above. So I'm going to begin by copying the last thing that the green yarn did. And I'll leave a decent tail. Then on the top side I need to go back to where the yarn came from and then into the next yellow stitch. So I can take that stitch off that holding needle, and there's my green tail, and I'm just going to leave that sticking out. Go back into the green stitch again and into the next one. I missed a bit of the ply, so I'm going to take that out. And come into it like so. And I've doubled this piece of green replacement yarn because it's not as heavy as the worsted weight that I originally used. And that's my beginning tail. Now I go back into that gold stitch again. And here's my second tail. So I'm going to just tuck that first tail back down inside. So I go back into my dark green stitch down here, along into the next one, and I'm adjusting those to the same size and shape, and just making sure that tail, this is the first tail, this is the second tail. So let's get the first one out of the way. Just coming up between the layers. This is a double knit fabric, so I can just hide that between the layers. Now this is a very short tail here, which I will hide in a minute, but I'm going to just continue on one further stitch just to make sure we've got a good overlap there. And I'll duplicate stitch this one, but I'm going to try and duplicate it behind the dark green. So you normally duplicate on top of a stitch, but since I want the dark green to show more, I'm going to lift up the dark green and tuck my replacement yarn underneath it. And take it quite a long distance between the layers. So I've got a good long yarn tail in there. I'm going to come up and get hold of that first yarn tail and pull it in. Had I got the appropriate colour, I would have duplicated further and darned both ends in properly. But this is really a temporary measure to tidy things up, keep them safe until such time as I can find this original colour. And then I will replace these with the appropriate colour and darn in both the ends. I'm just cutting the needle off there. And now I'm just going to duplicate stitch underneath the dark green a couple more stitches just for security, but this isn't going anywhere. So I'm going to lift up the one I want to duplicate underneath, so I hide the colour that I don't want to show. And I'm going to just take it back inside, take it a distance along. Oops. And now I'm just going to try to finish hiding that temporary colour behind that stitch. And all in all, it's not a bad fix, even though it's a temporary job until I find the right colour. Very few people would notice it, and it's structurally intact again now.